One of the most important things that you have to understand about Islam is that Islam is dualistic in nature. Okay? Because if the Quran is 100% true, if it is 100% divine, if it's the literal word of God, if it is the literal word of God, then it can't contradict itself. And yet you find contradictions in the Quran. How are these things settled? They're settled. Well, before we get to the settling, let's look at some examples of dualism. Okay? Surah number 109, verse 2. I do not worship what you worship, and you do not worship what I worship. I'll never worship what you worship, and you'll never worship what I worship. You to your religion, me to mine. This is Muhammad talking to the Jews and the Christians. And it sounds very tolerant, right? But Surah number 9 says, when the sacred months are past, kill the Kafirs wherever you find them. Take them as captives, besiege them, and lie in wait for them with every kind of ambush. If they submit to Islam, observe the prayer, and pay the poor tax, then let them go their way. Allah is gracious and merciful. So how do we have Muhammad saying, I don't worship what you worship, you don't worship what I worship, you to your religion and me to mine, and then you have Allah saying, kill them wherever you find them. For us, that seems like an insurmountable issue. For the Quran, this is a standard occurrence. This contradiction is normal. Okay? The solution to the contradiction is called abrogation. And what abrogation means is that if there are two verses that seem to directly contradict themselves, the one that was given later is better than the earlier one. Does that mean that the earlier one is null and void? No, because it's still the perfect literal word of God. It just means that the one that was given later is stronger, better. And this is how you can have people like Muhammad Ali and Osama bin Laden both being Muslims. Okay? Muhammad Ali wasn't trying to kill anybody. Osama bin Laden was trying to kill anybody he could. Because they're both reading from the same thing. And even where there are contradictions, both things are true. Okay? The logic here, once again, is very important. Since Allah is perfect and the Quran is the exact words, then both contradictory verses are true, but the later verse is better or stronger. This is called abrogation. Okay? There are 4 verses in the Quran which acknowledge or justify abrogation. Surah 2:106 says, when we cancel a message or throw it into oblivion, we replace it with one better or one similar. Do you not know that God has power over all things? Surah 16:101 and 102, when we replace a message with another, and God knows best what he reveals, they say, you've made it up. Yet most of them do not say, O Muhammad, the pure spirit has brought it down from your Lord in truth to make firm those who believe and as guidance and good tidings to the Muslims. So what was happening? Muhammad was coming up with some very convenient revelations, some of which were contradictory, and people were calling him on it. So of course he had to have a revelation from Allah saying that yes, indeed, Allah does these things. When the later one comes, it's better than the earlier one. Surah 13, 39, and 40. God abrogates or confirms whatsoever he wills, for he has with him the book of the books. And whether we show you part of what we promised them or take you in death, upon you is only the duty of notification, and upon us is the account. In other words, now, this is God telling Muhammad that his job is to obey. God's job is, to keep the account. So don't worry about it. You're just a messenger. Surah 17, 86 and 87. If we pleased, we could take away what we have revealed to you. Then you will not find anyone to plead for it with us, except we have left it with you as a mercy from your Lord. Indeed, his favor upon you has ever been great. Okay? So let's look at abrogation in practice. Surah 2, verse 256. There shall be no compulsion in acceptance of the religion. The right course has become clear from the wrong, so whoever disbelieves and believes in Allah has grasped the most trustworthy handhold with no break in it, and Allah is hearing and knowing. But then it also says, O you who have believed, indeed the polytheists are unclean. So let them not approach the school or the masjid after this. And if you fear privation, Allah will enrich you from his bounty if he wills. Okay, and then it goes on about what you're supposed to do to these people. Okay? It says, fight them until they give the jizya willingly while they are humbled. The Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah. That is their statement from their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieved before them. May Allah destroy them. Okay? And then you have the famous hadith in Al-Bukhari where Ibn Umar says, Allah's apostle said, I've been ordered by Allah to fight against the people until they testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger, and offer the prayers perfectly and give the obligatory charity. So if they perform that, then they must save their lives and property from me, except for Islamic laws, and then their reckoning will be done by Allah. All right?